All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Sim series, episode 4 and the back 9 at Beaver Hills Country Club. If you recall correctly from my previous video, I am even par. I had my best 9 thus far, and I'm looking to keep the momentum rolling on the backside. This is a really short, straightforward hole if you can hit it straight, and that's exactly what I did. A little bit downhill elevation, which gives me some extra distance, but I seem to kind of burn my best shots of the day on the first swing of the round. So that's another one where I put myself to 50 yards. Really, I'd be using my lob wedge from this point, but now I've got to hit like a really chippy pitching wedge. So I don't want to open up. I hit basically less than a half swing, essentially a chip. And so I'm able to roll that one onto the green. I'm just happy it stays on. It took a pretty springy first bounce off that rough that you could see sort of angles towards the hole, and it hits a downhill spot right there past the bunker. So I'm just happy to have 19 feet for my birdie down the hill, right to left. And this is the best putt I've hit so far with authority, center of the cup, back of the cup, and I'm pumped. Do a little Texas A&M yell leader, knee kick and fist pump simultaneously. I promise you I'm not an Aggie, although they do own me. But regardless, I move to 1 under par through 1, but 1 under par through 10 as well. Here I am, sitting over this par 5 ready to feast, and I hit it off the heel and it goes nowhere, and I dump it into this bunker. That's the worst thing I could have really done there. I really wanted to take advantage, hit one out there, 280, have a chance to hit a 5 wood in without much tree trouble, and I don't really have the tree trouble, but now I don't have a chance of getting there. So I just want to put it in position, kind of in the fairway. If it rolls up close, if I'm in one of those bunkers, that's also fine with me. It means I nuked it. Instead, I totally get my hands out in front of my body, need it to bounce off the tree right, and it kicks to the left, and I am livid at that break because look what I'm faced with. I have total jail. It looks like I have a little window if I go out towards that little tree there, that one between, I guess, the 3 giant trunks that are facing me. But right now I'm aimed right at the hole, and you can't even see the green nor the bunkers. So I'm just trying to swing one out there, trying to hit it through that little tree and avoid the 3 big ones. But I hit it too far out to the right. Luckily, it takes a big enough bounce to where I'm kind of back in position here. And I have 77 yards. I can still get up and down for a par. That's what's going through my mind right now. But it's that delicate 77-yard distance with the pitching wedge. And the last swing I took with it was from that 50-yard shot. So my brain's thinking, look at that deceleration. I don't have it. My brain was thinking, you got to just sort of lay it up, be delicate with it. And I just dump it short. And now I've got 21 yards, an even more delicate shot for my par. And this is not where you want to be on a par 5, folks, even if it's not an easy hole. So easy shot for the most part, but I don't quite have it online, and it rolls out past. It's a good shot, but I have 7 feet. I'm not able to get it inside that gimme zone, and I've got this for my bogey. It's just a hair right to left. I'd say it's probably right edge. That's what I'm thinking, lining up over this putt. Let's go right edge. I got to realign my putt because I don't have the ball in the hitting zone, and kind of have to reset, line it up again. Now I'm starting to think maybe a little bit more, and I just hit it too hard for that line. It lips out viciously, and I'm hoping it stays inside the gimme range because I smashed it. It went 4 feet by, but I'm able to put that home to gimme range, and it's a double bogey, and that is not what you want, a 7 on the par 5, especially after having an eagle putt on the front 9, I think, at hole 2. So here I am at 1 over par. Long, daunting hole ahead of me here. It says it's the 10 index, but it's long. It's 441. It's not the most difficult hole, but again, you've got the bunker on the right to contend with off the tee and some bunkers guarding front left. And I totally double-crossed this one, and I'm begging for it to hit a tree and bounce through. And luckily it does. And I'm sitting here 218, 216 out, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got a window. I'm looking top left where that blue sky is, and I'm seeing if I can really cut one around. These are the shots that are fun to hit. 216, this would be a full, giant, sweeping slice 5 wood, and that's really what I'm attempting to hit here. You'll see this swing is totally sawed off. That's like Tiger in the bunker. And look at this majestic high cut into the middle of the green. That's the shot of the round. That is one of the shots of my life. It's so fun to hit those. I probably won't be able to hit that if it's, actually in the rough in real life. But when you're able to pull off a really fun shot, it's reason to celebrate. And that's what keeps me coming back. So I put that inside of where I usually put the pitching wedge. I've got 25 feet left to right. I yank it, though, but it's really good pace. And I'm thrilled with a par after the way I started that hole. So keep it +1, and I survive, live to fight another day, and now we head to 401, slightly shorter hole than the last, but you got this I'd argue is harder off the tee. You've got water left and bunker right. I'm trying to take an anti-water swing. I took a little bit off of that, if you can't tell, and I really club twirl. Thought I had enough cut, and I just barely do. It's not a wide landing zone, but it's a really good swing. It's one I'm happy with. It's one of my better ones of the day. In the fairway, 118 yards out. This is a distance I'm becoming pretty familiar with, anywhere between, about 80 to 120 with this pitching wedge. So just trying to hit a bunch of different types of shots. And that's a really smooth P wedge. I liked how that one came out. It hit the fringe and bounced softly, but I'm still sitting at a good place on that green. The 10,001st 30-footer, but this time it's up the hill. It's pretty solidly left to right, so another one that I'm just looking to get close. Birdie would be great, but par is totally fine. So put it out right where I want to the left, but it doesn't break as much as I wanted. I was happy with that putt. That's really good pace, but I put it to give me range. That's a par, another one I'm happy with. On to the par 3, 199 yards, so 200 shot, taking that 5 wood, standing over it with some confidence because I know I'm going to try to hit that cut that I hit earlier. I've been successful once out of 2 times. I thought I hit it really nice there, and I thought it would get there, but I guess I took too much off of it. Took a nice leap forward. I'm going to have about a 20-yard chip with the pitching wedge. I'm really okay with that shot. Again, this is not, the 200-yarders. I'm A, not going to hit on the green every time anyway, and B, I don't have the right equipment to get it on the green at the sim. So just trying to start it up a little bit to the left, let it trundle down to the hole, make sure I land it on the front of the green here. But I just started out a little bit too far to the right, leave it a little short. It's up the hill. I got to remember that it's not going to trundle out for me. We've got 10 feet still, though. Just a hair left to right. I want to put it in a good place where it trickles in, but I think I'm really overreading these left to righters all day long, and it's kind of the overcorrection as a righty, and I do it again there. If I carried a slightly less pace there, just sort of a dying pace that would have gone in, but I had a slightly firmer pace, so it's a good putt that just missed, and I bogey again, but I've got to reset. Because here I am at another par 5. I'm checking out the angle on the right to see how far it is out to the creek that runs through the middle of the fairway. And I realize I've still got room enough to take a driver, which I decide to do. 551, you want to still get it out as far as possible, take a good swing. But I think I just try to take a little bit off of this one, just because I'm a little bit scared of that water. And as a result, I don't clear my hips through, and it's heading right at the water, and the tree luckily kicks me out. The tree giveth and the tree taketh away. I do a little celebration. I'm thrilled to have I've never been more thrilled to have 341 yards remaining on a par 5. I see I'm pointed right at the hole over water. It probably is 310-yard carry to get over that water, so I manually adjust with the arrow keys to put myself in the middle of the fairway over to the right. I'm going to hit the 7-iron and not the 5 wood, because I know I can control the 7-iron. I know it's just going to be that cut, and that's exactly what happens. So I'm able to put it 180 yards or so down that right-hand side of the fairway. So we'll take it. We're there into where we live to fight another day at this par 5. 170 in, that's more than I would usually like for a par 5. Got a little bit of elevation at the hole, so just take a nice smooth 7-iron, choke down a little bit on it. And I'm really happy with how I hit that. That's really good. So there in 3, got a chance at birdie, 25 feet, down the hill, left to right. It's a putt I'm really familiar with, as you've heard me say about 972,648 times. And so I'm lining up over it. Let's see if I can correct the read and the break, and I'm able to hit a really nice one. Missing on the pro side a lot, which is funny to say on a sim, but I'm able to keep myself on a challenging long hole with a bad drive that got lucky. I'm happy to make a par. On to the 415-yard dogleg right par 4. I'm looking to clear those bunkers down the right side. This is one that I'm going to need to hit a good one, and it comes out just a little bit low and pretty much on a rope straight. And so I need to sit. I'm going to need to have an angle, and the rough catches it enough to allow me to have an angle. But I am worried about that tree in front of me, and I know I mentioned that the sim, you can usually get them over. But from 167 yards, I'm almost trying to hit a little bit of a draw here. And so that's what I'm going to try to accomplish. You'll see a little bit of a sawed-off swing, more armsy, and a little bit lower finish, but it doesn't really draw. It does get through the tree, though, and I am thrilled with that. That is as good as it gets. As I fire my weapon, blow it out, tuck it back in the holster, that's a great one. 10 feet for birdie. After a celebration like that, you better make your putt, or you just look like a jackass in the fairway. So, got to make it. I know I've got to make it. Right to left, can it, left side, great hole, great recovery. That's how you do it. Fired up, back to 1 over. I realized that finishing at even par is back in play. And we come to the 17th hole, par 3, 168. I just got to take a little bit off, like take 10 yards off, 15 yards off of 7. I'm trying to hit that little cut. I take a nice smooth 7. It's got that fade. I like it off the club. Unfortunately, it just goes a little bit deep, and I roll through. But not too far through. It's enough to use the putter. But the confusing part about this one is you'll see I've got a little bit, I got fringe to work with. I've got some rough, a little bit to work with at first. It's rolling back towards me, really uphill at first, and then it breaks downhill and right to left. And I try to hit it hard enough. I just can't get it there. It's a poor effort. It's not my best. It's also not my worst. I've got 9 feet left. That's one I'd like to be closer in competition, but it's an okay shot. I'd say overall, I'd give it a B- on the effort. Right to left, par putt, 9 feet down the hill. I jam it home. Happy with that par save. That's what you want heading to 18. You got a chance to make a birdie and finish even par for 18 holes. This would be a great 18 that I hope I can replicate and build on. But in the way is a pretty hard par 4, pretty sharp dog leg to the right. If you run through the fairway at all left, you're pretty much dead. Hit it off the heel a bit. I need it to sit. I'm lucky it goes up the hill because clunk, hits off the tree. I'm going right at the tree. The tree took 2 strokes, added 2 strokes onto my score earlier, has taken, I think, probably at least a couple strokes off. So these trees have been probably more helpful than hurtful. At worst, they've been a net even. So 140, I'm hitting that P-wedge. I'm just going right at it. Trees aren't a factor. Hoist it high in the air. I love it, but it's just not cutting. And it just flies too far. Doesn't cut. So added 10 yards without the cut. I'm shocked. But I've got basically a wide open regular chip shot with the pitching wedge. This is not one that I really have to loft up in the air. This is just a regular chip that I just need to start a little bit to the left. Let it roll out towards the hole. Maybe give it a chance. That's a really nice chip. I love it. I love it. I love it. It almost goes in, and I'm able to knock that gimme home. Get me there. That's a 73. That's +1. I am fired up. Thanks for watching, folks. On my road to scratch.